Are you faced with having to plan a funeral but aren't sure where to begin? Are you concerned about paying too much for an unfulfilling service? This is Don Carson, and for over 70 years, our funeral home has helped the families of Maquoketa and the surrounding area during one of the most difficult times that any of us ever face, the loss of a loved one. In helping these families, we have identified the 4 key subjects that you need to know about when faced with the loss of a loved one. The first question we are typically asked is about funeral pricing and the cost of services. You need to know what you can expect when planning and estimating the cost of a funeral. Next, most families will agree that this can be an extremely tough time emotionally. After helping thousands of families through this time, we have identified the common path that we all walk at the time of a loss. Understanding the path you are on can help reduce the emotional stress of the situation and minimize your family's grief. The third topic that we are often asked about is cremation. To help you understand this topic, we have prepared an overview that we call Issues to Consider when Choosing Cremation. The fourth subject that you will need to know about is how to go about making arrangements for a funeral. There are a lot of issues to consider in the arrangement process, so we've created an overview called The 5 Critical Elements of Successful Arrangements. Prices vary dramatically among funeral homes, even in our local area. The average cost of a funeral nationwide is $7,115. That's with burial. You can usually deduct about $1,500 to $2,000 if cremation is selected. There are 3 main elements of funeral price. The first element consists of the incidental items such as newspaper obituaries, clergy honorarium, and death certificates. These items total about $850 to $1,500 and are typically the same no matter what funeral home you choose. The second element of a funeral's price is the merchandise. This typically consists of a casket or urn and sometimes a vault. One of the best ways to evaluate a merchandise provider is to look at their range of prices. Let's take caskets for example. At our funeral home, our prices range from $725 to $5,995 for the finest available. Last year, our average casket sale was $1,800. I've seen casket prices at some funeral homes as high as $25,000. Be very careful if you see a high price like that. It's no secret that most consumers like to buy in the middle of any price range. Inflating the top end of their prices is one way that some merchandise providers get you to buy more than you really want or need. The third element is the service fee that you pay the funeral home. This fee is intended to cover the services that the funeral home provides for the deceased and the services that the funeral home provides for the family of the deceased. This is where funeral homes can vary dramatically. Some discount funeral homes charge a very low service fee because they only take care of the deceased and provide very few services to the family. Unfortunately, they are missing the entire point of what a funeral is for. A memorable funeral service is a time for friends and family to gather to remember and celebrate the life of a loved one. Each person lives a life that has meaning. We produce our own fields of life and harvest the memories. It is within those memories that we nourish and give significance to the life of your loved one. We are committed to Maquoketa and the neighboring communities and are dedicated to honoring the fields of life and creating meaningful memories that acknowledge a life well lived while healing those that remain. Look for the funeral home's philosophy, whether it's based on service or merchandise, and check their price list to see where their middle is. It will tell you a lot. A good funeral home will not attempt to maximize their profits through the sale of merchandise. Instead, they will offer a style of funeral service that is designed to help every generation of your family form a positive, lasting memory of your loved one.